1, 2, 3.
It's like the sea from Scanners.
Right. That's a bit loud noise. How's it volume-wise for everyone? Is that good?
Volume is good.
Volume is good.
Yeah. No louder, no nothing.
No.
Good.
Good to go.
Good to go. Let's do this then. Let's get this antique
Roadshow.
on the road show.
Let's go.
Record this time, isn't
The button. What colour do we need to look for? Red.
it? Red is on.
You're listening to M.T.V.B. Podcast. Movies, TV, video and board games. This show may contain swearing.
Hello, welcome to a brand new episode of the
M.T.V.B.
podcast, the podcast that talks about my 4 favourite subjects. That's movies
TV shows.
Video games.
and board games. I'm your host Anthony, as well as most people know me as the Antman. And welcome to we're back. Whoa, hey.
It's been a while.
It's been a long time, but thank you for sticking around for us. We are back, and this episode is going to be a TV episode. It's going to be an episode talking about our top 5 TV reboots or TV shows that should be rebooted,
That we would
in
like.
need of a reboot.
That we would like.
that we would like, our personal picks. So yes, so before we start the episode, 2 things I want to address first, which is 1, thank you for hitting that play button and, you know, just supporting us, being with us. And if you like what you're watching or listening to, then please give us a like, comment, a share, and most importantly, a subscribe.
Yes.
It goes a long way for us, as well as my editors who have to go through and edit all these videos for us. Okay, so whilst we're here, let's have a little chinwag with one another and see how we're all doing, starting with our local doctor, our Time Lord ourselves. How are you, sir?
I'm very well, thank you very much. Yeah, very glad to be back on the M.T.V.B. podcast.
Nice. Captain 2 list we sticking with still?
Yes!
Yes?
Yes,
Nice.
so I've managed to very comfortably put together 2 lists for this topic.
You do actually have the 2
I've
lists
got
this
2
time.
lists, yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
good start to the year.
Well, yeah, I thought, as soon as we're making a bit of a mini comeback, let's do it in style. So, yeah, 2 lists.
Absolutely.
2 lists for TV reboots.
Nice. I think this was one you've been quite looking forward to, actually, so I can understand why there was 2 lists on this one.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, I pushed for it a little bit. I think it was one of Chris's original suggestions.
Yeah,
so,
I just think
was,
it's going to
actually.
be so different. 'Cause
Yeah.
It's not going to be stuff that we
Normally talk about TV
normally
shows and
talk
stuff.
about or ever
No.
talked about. I don't think.
No, a bit of a different one. So, yeah, quite excited about it. A few nice little shows on the list there, some obvious ones, yeah, for me. But, yeah, I'm looking forward to talking about these.
Nice. Then let's go over to our regular Breaking Bad fan, Mr. Heisenbyrne. How are you, sir?
I'm very well, thank you.
How was the list for you?
It was an easy list.
Was it?
Yeah.
Wow, there's a lot of shows you don't like then.
Because there's a lot of shows that have either been one season
Yep.
or then never got carried on for whatever reason,
Right.
or there was just a show which has got a good premise that just needs to be tweaked to bring it up to like modern standards, I think. Yeah. And then there's some going back.
Oh, okay. So that was actually going to be my first question for you. Well, like, let's talk about, how the list has been done. What are actual terms for this top 5? So we've said top 5 reboots for TV shows. Are these shows that we consider that need redoing or total revamp, or what are we going with here? Or something new for new audiences?
I think because we're doing a sort of like it's however you kind of want to.
Yeah.
If you want to go down a more serious route or a comedy tone of something that was serious, but you think it could be better as a comedy,
Okay.
or if you think that something was good as a but just needs to be tweaked to
Okay.
hit. Because what I've done is sort of tried to go for what either I've missed stuff or stuff that I liked that think could just be like just updated.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So
So what, like a different tone to it, or
definitely
like...
a lot darker tone.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, I agree with Chris. I think it's open to our interpretation about what the parameters are. I've kind of gone for shows that deserve a reboot, I think.
Oh,
Not
okay.
necessarily that need a reboot or in need of a reboot, but yeah, they deserve it because a lot of the ones on my list hold a special place in my heart as a kid and as an older an adult as well. So
Nice.
yeah, just ones that I would personally like to see again, just done a little bit differently.
Okay, so it's not so much of a case of bringing back the series, but it definitely just needs something redone to it.
More.
Yeah.
Just let's see what somebody else can do with it.
Yeah, I think there's ones where it's just like, I've just read on the internet, they've cancelled this season. And you're like, how have they cancelled that?
Right.
When season 1 was so good, kind of ended like that. Or when then you see other shows around the time that have been renewed. And you're like, how's that been cancelled?
Right.
And that one's got another season, or that goes on to do well, or
Yeah,
whatever.
why have we still got a Kardashian show when we've got, when, Krypton still doesn't have a third season? Finish that damn series.
Going to be waiting a long time.
A very long time. So let's go with like the choices now. Obviously, let's not go into spoilers too much, but what are we going with pick wise? Are we going as far back as kids shows? Are we doing normal shows? Are we going animated shows? What are we talking here? Are we allowed to have these?
Yes.
Anything.
Yeah.
Anything and anything. Like, I could have done a whole kids sort of legacy thing, and that's the way I'm calling it, like what I'm calling it, legacy.
I think we should save that for another episode. Like kids' TV shows that need rebooting, but you can still have like the occasional one in here, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Otherwise,
It's going to be more than just one.
Oh, well, that's fine. No, I think I've got 2 of mine anyway. So
but yeah, there's some that have just been like, there's shows on here that weren't even a good subject for me. Like I don't follow it or I don't enjoy it, but the whole show concept really intrigued me, and it cancelled before it started. Basically, this is one of them. It's kind of like I feel cheated
because I started to get into it, and then
I didn't even get into it. It was kind of like, I think it was the 3rd or 4th episode, and they said it's already cancelled due to something.
What?
And I went, there's no point. And I kind of...
Why carry on?
Why carry on?
Yeah.
It's a common thing these days, though.
But then you're like, how's that one got...
I know.
Yeah.
Popularity is a very, very odd thing.
Yeah.
Because the problem is, because I watched it, I kind of assumed everybody else has watched it, or... if I've enjoyed it, it's just like...
Everybody else must have enjoyed it.
Everyone,
exactly, yeah.
And then a lot of people are like, I don't even watch it.
And that's the problem. There's always going to be a fan base for it, isn't there, for the show that never got to continue. But
well, I think now, I mean, back when we were younger, there were 4 channels, and you would know what people were watching, and you could go to school or to college or to work the next day, and you could discuss it. But now we live in that day and age where there is literally 1,001 shows that anybody could be watching at any one time. So yeah, I mean, there could be something that Chris is watching that you and I will watch, but not everybody knows.
There's nothing on my
about.
list that has been. It's all pre-streaming.
yeah.
I don't think there's anything that's come out streaming wise, or that's been like an instant. Here it all is at once.
Yeah.
It was a weekly saga, or split into, you got your season breaks.
But I think this topic has to be for those shows for pre-streaming, because we're looking back further. I think if maybe in another 10 years.
There was a couple that were like, it had a good, like on Netflix, it's like, you just didn't do it well, and it was kind of like, but I didn't put them on, so it's like...
I occasionally think that, but I just think probably in about 5-10 years' time, they'll be ripe for a reboot. But right this second, I went back far, far into the depths of history.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm kind of out of questions for that then. And if anyone else has any more, would like to throw them in. If not, let's go straight to our top 5s.
Get into it.
Let's do it.
It's time for a top 5.
So for anyone who hasn't joined the show before and it's your first time watching, what we normally do is we roll a little 20 die. I say little, look at the size of that thing, to determine who goes first. And then obviously whoever goes first will all go around in clockwise order from there. And if you do clash or happen to clash at all, keep it to yourself and have you throw your own 2 cents in. So should we start with you, Mr. Captain Tier List?
Go for it.
Let's do it.
Let's see. Right. Oh, yeah, I forgot. Okay. Go on. Pray to the gods.
Pray to... 14. That is a good number to start with.
It's all right.
It's clearly going to be him now. 3.
Here we go.
17.
17.
No, let me do that again. No, come on, let's do that again. 20.
Oh, 20.
We'll
Right,
take it, mate.
Natural 20.
There we go. And that's how you do it.
The new streak.
The streak is over.
1-0.
So, if we don't mention your TV show that should be rebooted, at the end of the day, there are picks, and you should have been on the episode. So, Bollocks Chair, number 5.
Number 5.
So, my number 5. Right. So, going back to Howard, what he was saying about going back further deep. See, a lot of my shows are that, but this one in particular, I'm going to go with Chris on this, and it is one that is on the streaming service. Okay. Now, I seem to think that this show wasn't what it was originally, wasn't what it was titled as. I think they basically made a different show, and then they thought they'd slap something else onto it just to get people to watch it. So my number 5 is Netflix's Resident Evil TV series.
Okay, all right.
That's an honourable mention of mine.
It is literally not Resident Evil. Let's put it that way. It's utter wank. It was something where I think they threw together basically a zombie show of some sort, and just thought, you know what, this is a piece of shit. How can we get people to watch it?
Brilliant.
100%.
It looked like what we've been waiting for.
Yep.
All of those, and then you were just waiting for it. It's going to change.
It's going to change. Any minute now, it's going to change. And no, it got completely worse.
So would you say it simply rode off the back of the name of Resident Evil?
Yes, yeah. That's how they did it. They, like I said, Netflix was super smart. They know they had a piece of shit on their hands and thought to themselves, how can we get this people to watch it? Because we need viewers. And I think, like Chris said, it got cancelled before it even got to the last episode, because this was a weekly thing, wasn't it, this one?
Because even the croc, I was like...
Yeah.
I had nothing. It just...
Yeah, characters you didn't like, and you had this really rip-off of Blade at one point, which was like a black version of Albert Wesker and stuff like that. Big shout out to Lance Riddick who did it, R.I.P., but...
I've never seen the series, so...
You don't want to.
Was it Birkin?
I can't remember.
But I did like the Doctor as a character, the guy from The Wire, and was it Fringe?
Yeah, Lance Riddick. Yeah.
Riddick, so... Even though it was whack, I still liked his character in the sense of he played a...
Yeah, probably the only thing that was considered interesting. Like even
it wasn't enough though.
No, even some of the zombies Netflix tried to change up. Like one of them was like a zombie that can shout for other ones, and it had a this organic voice box. That was never in like a Resident Evil game and stuff like that. It's like
you have an IP, just use it. That's what we're
utilize it.
Yeah.
Right?
Do they have any of the standard characters though, like Jill Valentine? Or
they just kind of ride off the umbrella. They kind of do what Resident Evil in the movie, and you just do a load of characters you don't care about.
Yeah,
and then they're giving us a load of other characters in the facility, which could have been Umbrella.
Right.
They could have done a whole making the virus.
So it's Resident Evil adjacent, basically.
Yeah, it's like a standalone story that involved Umbrella and some other facility that was built around the Umbrella Corporation. So it's just, like I said, Resident Evil, we've talked about this on the show a numerous amount of times this video game. It still goes to there. I believe the 9th one is coming out soon at the time of recording of this show. And they could do so much with this. That's why it deserves a proper reboot, to have proper characters in, or even just start from the origin and then work your way through. Each season could be a number one of the video games or something. Like season 1 could be Resident Evil 1, season 2 could be Resident Evil 2, etc. And they could go on for ages with this thing. And it was just such a shame that obviously Netflix got a hold of it and done this utter wank fest of a series. I think it's only 8 episodes, but good God, is it terrible. But I just had to keep watching it because I was in Chris's shoes. Like, it's going to get better. It's Resident Evil. It's going to get good. And it just really didn't. It's 8 hours of my life wasted, and completely believe that this show needs to have a reboot and do it properly. I do believe there is a new movie out this year, which is getting rebooted.
I think they're going back to what we want it to be.
Exactly.
I think it's meant to be just Resident Evil.
Yeah.
Because I don't understand. You do Resident Evil 1, the sequel's already kind of there for you in 2.
Yeah.
And then all of the other films, they could have been 3, 4, 5, like bringing all of these characters, because you've already rode off the IP and you've given the fans what you want.
I think if you do something well from the beginning, like you say, if you adapt number 1, adapt number 2, and then after that you can start branching out a little bit. It's like The Walking Dead. They started off sticking to the main storylines, and then they started doing their own thing. As they started going,
and that's what ruined it.
The best thing I've kind of seen, and it's still a bit far, is what's the CGI one? You know, Welcome to Raccoon City.
Oh yeah, I know.
Basically, 2.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that because it just kind of gave me Resident Evil 2, the movie. Like,
yeah,
and I kind of like, that's what I wanted. That's what I wanted.
And we didn't get it. So
we didn't even get anything like it, or just give us characters that we know.
Yeah. And the problem is Netflix is doing the TV series for Gears of War now. And that's my favourite video game franchise ever. So I am literally shitting bricks with this and how terrible it's going to be.
If they do Gears of War and they just give us a whole new platoon, and you're like, I get that this team was fighting.
doing the whole Defoe
this team was fighting probably over the other side and doing its own. But that's not what we want to see.
No, this is it.
Or you don't call it Gears of War.
Exactly, yeah. Don't just take the IP and slap the name on it when you're not going to actually do anything with it.
What was that FX program? Was it Fire in the Sky?
That's a movie. That's a movie.
But there was an FX with the alien bugs. It come down.
Oh, is that Falling Skies?
Falling
yeah,
Skies.
that's a good show. I like that.
Yeah.
I love that show.
Yeah,
doesn't need rebooting.
No, that doesn't need reboot. But give us just
give us that.
Don't give us like Gears of War. Just call it. Because that's what you basically give us.
Exactly. That's what we want, goddammit.
Because no one's going to go, oh, that was good, but it had none of the people we liked. Nah.
This is it. So that's why I had to go on the list. That's why it's my number 5, Resident Evil. Over to you, Sir Chris.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Oh, no, clockwise. Sorry. It goes this way, doesn't it?
Happy to go that way if you want.
Okay,
I'll
go for it.
So this one was one of the ones that got cancelled before it even started.
Okay.
And it was... This Sky Atlantic had just released. It had been previewing for months and months. It's coming, with all of these shows. And there was a show on there with Dustin Hoffman called Luck.
Okay.
And it was about a track syndicate and a horse racing syndicate.
Oh, yes, I know.
Yeah,
right.
The premise is they all bought into this racetrack, and then they were starting to race the horses. And in there you had a subplot of people with the undertone of gambling and the money, and then you had all of the subplots of the making the best stallion, and all of it. But because what was it, 3 or 4 horses got injured and put down in the first 2 or 3 episodes of making the whole animal rights just went boom,
shut
it, cancelled it, and it's kind of like you'd set up. You had Dustin Hoffman as this Texas sort of rancher sort of guy and businessman, and then they're all bought into it, and then you kind of you had so many places to go with it. You had the Kentucky Derby over there, and you had all of these races, and then you had all organized crime.
It had so much potential,
and it all got shut down because the horses were no horses should get injured, but
of course,
now we could do it with CGI, good CGI. There's just that sort of it was like Yellowstone, but Texas sort of thing.
Sure,
it had that sort of full ranch, that sort of everything was money, Dallas sort of style.
Yeah, okay.
And it was just I just remember getting 4 episodes, it was cancelled, and I can't remember if it was taken completely off, but we just kind of, because I used to watch stuff with my mum, it was there's no point watching, because it's totally being it's kind of there's no point getting into it, and it was just one of those shows that I just remembered
So if you would reboot it, you would do it with the CGI animals, the same premise and everything.
Basically, see the same premise, and just make it so that the animals didn't get hurt, but you could still have racing, but just they don't do the dangerous bits.
Right, yeah.
But yeah, I think there's just the premise of that sort of dark, and not dark, but it's the competitiveness of horse racing. I don't know if you've watched the Netflix documentary on the Kentucky Derby.
No.
It's really, really interesting. But that's like I was saying, I have no interest in horse racing, but I love shows about stuff that I don't really like.
Yeah.
And especially in that sort of sport, you can dramatize it so well because the slow, unlike in a football program, it doesn't suit the slow down, the epicness and the actual thrill of the horse racing. I just think Just Dustin Hoffman being in the series.
Yeah.
And Nick Nolte was in it.
I was
and
a.
there was a couple of other
cast then.
Yeah, it was good. It was just one of those ones like.
So in theory, the studio wouldn't have cancelled it. It was just because the animal rights got hold of it.
Yeah, they really went.
So they probably could have carried on with it. Then.
Probably really.
I mean, yeah, anything with
and
Dustin
it had
Hoffman in it wouldn't have got
the
cancelled.
smart guy from Suits in it.
Oh, John Hamm?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, the young lad, is it?
I don't know.
No. So.
Oh no, Suits, isn't it? No, he's Mad Men. John Hamm, sorry, yeah.
was John Hamm, but yeah, the really really smart guy, the lawyer.
Okay, right.
So yeah, it was just one of those ones that it didn't even get a chance to be rubbish.
Right.
It was only like 3 episodes, and it was just laying the ground. Like people were like in debt, and there was like, yeah, it was just. I thought it could have gone places.
Should have at least just ended it at the end of season 1. Just let it run its course.
It probably did, but where because it was like 2000, I was at home sort of thing. I watched stuff. It just kind of went. We're not going to watch that. You know?
Yeah. What do we do now?
What do we do now? We just end up watching it and then just kind of hope that it comes back.
Yeah.
But when stuff was cancelled back then, it was...
That was it.
That was it.
It was done. There's no sort of picking it up. And obviously, Dustin Hoffman's not getting any younger.
That's it.
But it wasn't about the cart that you could put any... There could be a new Dustin Hoffman. Like, there's someone who could play Dustin Hoffman quite easily now. And you'd believe that it'd like be a tycoon sort of thing. But yeah, it's just, one of those kind of.
No, I remember seeing adverts for it because again, you said Sky Atlantic. I think that channel had not long launched.
No,
so
they were hyping that.
Yeah.
And I think it was the one with the Pope, the Borgias.
Yes, the Borgias, yeah.
Yeah, I do remember actually.
Yeah.
Not my thing, so I never paid attention to it. I wouldn't have realised that it would have just disappeared off the schedule.
No, but it wasn't. It was one of those things. That's why, like, these documentaries and Netflix stuff is kind of like, Dustin Hoffman's in that. It's kind of got to be good.
Yeah.
You know, and that's how
if he's attached to it.
If he's attached to it, they didn't even give him a chance to be killed off in the first few episodes. Yeah, or if I done, you know, who knows?
But it's trampled on by horses or something.
But yeah, it's just with the animals'
campaigns.
Rights, they kind of got to it and canned it.
That's a shame. It's what it is.
Luck. I'm sure it's probably a decent enough series. So.
Nice, good pick, mate. So they can't done even before started watching it.
Yeah, most of these are like done
and dusted. Nice pick, mate. So, how would you have 2 lists? What are the actual? Do they have lists names for these? lists?
We have rebooting the 3D and rebooting the 2D.
Oh, okay.
You'll soon find out.
Yeah, okay.
Nice.
My number 5. So I am a big fan of science fiction. I really like British BBC science fiction. A lot of you are going to think, something's going to appear on this list. It is not. No, I'm going to start off with Doomwatch from 1970.
Okay, is this the 3D or 2D one?
So this is for 3D. So this is basically live action reboots. The other one is cartoon reboots.
Right, okay, gotcha.
This was an attempt by the BBC to kind of fuse science fiction with sort of the anxiety, social anxiety that was going on at the time in the 70s, both politically but domestically. They were preying on people's fears with this TV series, and it really, really worked. So I can tell by the looks on your faces, neither of you have ever heard of Doomwatch.
I have heard of it. I've never watched it.
Doomwatch were a government team who were kind of tasked with investigating scientific projects and underground type of experimentation. So I think a few of the episodes were around genetic engineering, computer overreach, which is a very real thing at the moment, and chemical pollution. So they would take these topics and then they would put a kind of quasi-documentary spin on it. So, I mean, the acting was very, very good. You have Robert Powell was one of the main characters. So obviously, big actor. He later became a big actor. He was one of the lesser characters in it at the time. But yeah, you would sort of see it from a documentary perspective as the team did these investigations. And it was quite dark and quite gritty, very urban, very real. Obviously, I'm not that old, so I didn't see it at the time. This was one of those UK gold.
So what year was this out?
It was 1970 when it first came out. Now, I would have watched it 92, 93 when UK
It kind of sounds like ahead of its time for what it was.
Well, it was written by Kit Pedler and Jerry Davis, and they are most famous for creating the Cybermen in Doctor Who.
Okay.
Kit Pedler himself was, he had a scientific background, so he would bring a lot of the kind of foresight and the knowledge to the stories, whereas Jerry Davis was just a scriptwriter for the BBC, but a very good scriptwriter. So he would put the sort of science fiction spin on it. There was always a bit of a background battle between the two as to what should prevail. The BBC loved science fiction, so they would always try and push that angle, but I think it worked by keeping it grounded in reality, because during the 70s there was still an overlay from fears from the East, a lot of the political unrest that was going on, technology was on the rise, biological and chemical warfare was still a very big thing. So all of these kind of themes tied into this, and it really, really was ahead of its time. There was a 1999 reboot attempt with Trevor Eve, I believe, was in the lead role for the show. It never took off. Never took off. It wasn't good enough. But yeah, I think just a show like this now, particularly with current political unrest, technological advances, the fact that a lot of people are uncertain about what the future is going to look like.
So this is how you would do it if you brought it back?
I think there's not a lot you need to change, because there's not a lot different from the 1970s to there is now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's very...
So I think if they were to do it, it would be done very, very well. New themes, new topics, a new era. New
BBC, or
new
would you
threats.
go like?
Well, I don't know. I mean, there's another one on this list that I'm going to talk about, and I think there's always the potential for, with Doctor Who recently, Disney came on board, chucked a bit of money at it. I think there's always
Fucked it up.
That's a whole different podcast. There's always the potential for outside money, but I think stick with the BBC, because the BBC do very, very, very good shows. And this was
They do.
They do.
Pay your license.
Yeah. Well, who knows? But yeah, Doom Watch is definitely something.
I've never heard of it.
I don't quite think it'll be your thing, Chris. I would always recommend anything that I put on my list, give it a crack. At least watch the first episode. It's it's unique.
I thought it was going to be like a Bernard's Watch sort of. I was like, how deadly is this? Like deadly Bernard's Watch.
No, not quite. So yeah, Doom Watch for the 3D. For the 2D, which is going to my animated list, I've chosen Visionaries. 1987. So yeah,
Stuart, if you're listening, I know you would freak out. He absolutely loves this.
Knights of the Magical Life from 1987.
Yes.
So Stuart talked about this on the previous kids TV theme tunes, I think it was.
It was, yes.
Yeah.
Check them out, Legends of Podcast, and go check them out. Sorry.
Yes, please do. Yeah, and I won't go too highly into it, because he did a very, very good outlay of what the show meant, and specifically meant to him at the time.
Yeah.
I think as kids, though, I don't know, Chris, did you ever
loved
watch Visionaries? Yeah, it was one of those shows that we all enjoyed, and it just never, ever went anywhere.
I don't understand how it's not even been made. Like,
well, I mean,
of all the other stuff that hasn't been made, this.
Yeah, right.
And this was 13 episodes, which for kids' cartoons at the time was nothing.
The toy collection.
Oh my god!
Those holograph stars.
Yeah, so good.
So for anybody who doesn't know who or what Visionaries are, it was high fantasy world building in a toy-driven, high energy TV show. I would say it kind of defined what kids' TV meant at the time. There's a lot of cartoons on this list that kind of fit that staple. But yeah, Visionaries really pushed it hard.
Love it.
And it was never really meant to... Well, it was meant to kind of replace He-Man and Transformers, but it didn't, unfortunately.
No, it lived alongside.
It wasn't as big. Wasn't as big. Yeah.
Yeah, and it should have been.
I didn't realise it was it 12?
13 episodes.
That's what I mean. But for me, there was like 900 episodes.
Oh, yeah. That's what I'm saying.
They constantly put on repeat.
I was going to say, when Stuart told me it was only 30, I was like, really?
Yeah,
it feels like more.
I mean, I wasn't on that show, but obviously I was sat here helping.
The power of reruns, everyone.
Yeah, I just thought, bloody hell, 13 episodes. Right, so set on the planet Prismos after a technological collapse, two rival factions, the Spectral Knights and the Darkling Lords, all turn to magic to fight over their grip on society. Chris, you've already said that it is very, very magical related. It's got an Arthurian kind of twist on it. Magical staffs, animal totems, and spell-based powers all packed into 13 episodes. The point of this on my list is that you could make a really good cartoon here and now, or we could turn it into a live action TV series.
Good God, everything. Would that be amazing? How would you do it though? What would you go with? Would you go with
really good
the animation
CGI.
it did then, or like Chris said, like would you go Pixar animated sort of style maybe, or would you go full on live action?
I think I'd go like some of the animation during Dante's, like that.
Okay.
Like that really sort of like where it could be slowed down the fighting.
Which would work because it's got that kind of dark, magical background to it. So yeah, I think that's a good call actually.
Because this is what I'm talking about when I said about like the legacy stuff. All of that stuff there is as a kid, like we all love it. Just make it more violent. Make it more violent.
Yeah.
Everything that we do on this, like, there's so many others that like I was so close to just, which we could do a whole nother podcast.
The problem is if it was live action, I would think it would lose its appeal when it comes to the color of the show. Like they were vibrant, all vibrant.
Although
and stuff
it was dark, those colors. I think Stuart even said this. Those colors popped.
Yeah,
and it really. That's what stuck in the mind. I think.
But
that's why there were 900
If it didn't
episodes.
pop as well, but they kept sort of the characters and they didn't change too much, we could allow.
100%. Yeah. It's like don't worry about it. Yeah, it's just a color tone. But yes, I see what you're saying.
Like
yeah,
X-Men style. The movie it worked.
Yeah,
they changed the costumes, but it still worked.
Yeah,
it's like I think.
Yeah, you got me now. I initially thought live action,
but no, I would like live action.
A particular style of animation would suit it.
I'd like it if they did do it, if it was animated. I don't know if you've ever seen, again, back to Netflix, but the recent Castlevania shows, that sort of style animation. It's not quite anime, but it's like their own style, but like it's got the violence, it's got the dialogue of it all, it's got the dark tone of it. I think that would rule if it was
the
Visionaries
original
remake.
appeal, as with all of these cartoons, is that it's good versus evil, and I think there's still a place for that in this day and age. But you can put that kind of adult spin on it a little bit.
The Harry Potter fights that you have, like with the dragons and the like, that is basically Visionaries.
Yeah,
it's how we'd want it. You know, like they come out, you have all of these epic. So good.
It'd be
Epic.
great.
Is it like, the good guys, like a parrot comes out against a shark, and
you got the hologram and
somehow
just
the parrot
fucking
wins.
cool.
So this is it. So when we talk about reboots,
Parrot whiz.
Parrot always beat the shark, and I don't understand.
But yeah, we could do that. You could do that. I mean, as long as you could justify it. A reboot,
as long as Vin Diesel wasn't in it, I think.
Absolutely. A bit of Statham.
Vin Diesel, the visionary. Too many V's in one sentence.
Family.
It is. It's about family.
Yeah, I mean, you can make it what you want, can't you, with any reboot? But yeah, I think that's just ripe for something new.
Nice.
Definitely.
I think that could easily work with a Amazon Money series shows like
Amazon, Netflix, Apple.
Just
any of them could pick it up.
Just throw it
take
at
my
'em.
money.
License to print money. But I mean, I've mentioned about the fact that back in the 80s, a cartoon was produced to sell toys. You can still do the same thing today.
100%.
Yeah. And they do. There are Netflix toys. Anyway, I'll stop banging on about that.
Nice pick then. Let's go to the number 4s.
Number 4.
So my number 4 then, right. My number 4 is Heroes.
Okay.
Does anyone remember Heroes?
They've
I watched.
kind of already rebooted it, really. Haven't they?
Yeah, it's still not great though.
I agree.
The
I got
reboot.
into a bit of a snob. I was like, man, it's fucking BBC. I went through like, I was full blown in my Sky thing. I was like, fuck, I got no time for iPlayer anymore. I regretted that, and like, I kind of gave up.
Yeah.
I should have.
Everyone gave up.
But no one loved it at the end, sort of thing.
No. So this is why I think it deserves the full reboot. But right, let's go back to the be all end all, which is season 1. That was the one that put it on the map. Yeah. The first episode, everything.
The whole cheerleader will save the world thing.
Everything. Yes, that's it. Save the cheerleader, save the world.
Yeah.
Fantastic concept. What a series the first one was. People were buying T-shirts, posters. Everyone was loving this show. This was also, and I don't know if anyone actually knows this, there are certain TV shows nowadays that do this thing, which is essentially like a podcast afterwards. They talk about it and they'll sit around a table and chairs and have audiences. I think The Walking Dead started doing it.
They did. They called it was it like Walking TED Talk or something?
Something like that, yeah.
Uncloaked and Traitors. And
they've recently done it for the Apple TV series Pluribus.
Oh, yeah, okay.
There's a thing that comes up, says, after you watch the episode, listen to the podcast afterwards. Right. So Heroes was the first show that did this. And if they do it again with the smart writing of season 1, I think it could be a winner. Like, I think Heroes can be as good as it was and as popular as it was since then. The problem is that the show didn't do well enough because there was a writer's strike from season 2 onwards. So season 2 struggled. I remember when the first episode came out, I was in LA at the time, just on holiday, and I was struggling to find like a pay-per-view place or whatever, or something in my hotel just to watch the first episode. And I was like, yes, come on, let's do it. I can actually watch it away. And then I watched him like, what? Why are we doing this? What's going on? But again, we all stuck with it though, just to see if it would be as good as season 1, and it didn't. Then season 3 sort of come to bring it back, and then it started well, but then again, like Chris said, we got to a part where it was just Walking Dead and people just giving up on it. It just wasn't it wasn't the spark of season 1 ever again, and it really does show, and it did struggle. And it's a shame because there were some great characters in it as well and stuff, and
there's a lot of people who you go, if you watch it now, you go, fuck me, it's...
Yeah, so
there we go. And you still say, oh, that's her, that's the cheerleader, or Zachary Quinto who plays Spock. That was, what's his name?
Siler.
Yeah, Siler, that's it. And I tell you, in season 1, that guy used to scare the shit out of my mum. Every time he was on screen, he played that fucking well, didn't he?
Yeah.
And that's what I said. This show just has so much potential and it deserves a reboot and done properly.
Give it the money.
Give it the money
and the platform.
Exactly. And you have, you know, whether it's even if they just remake the first series, I don't care, but do it properly afterwards. That's the only thing that it stemmed from where it lost its appeal, and just, you know, keep it with that. You could have so many great storylines now, and, you know, it's, you know, when you look at shows like Invincible nowadays and how the boys, everything, it can be done.
Yeah.
And
it can be done well, like that. Give it that same sort of budget and that same sort of feel as the boys. Yeah.
And you can do it. Yeah.
I think there's a little bit of controversy and a little bit of what's the word I'm looking for? But when it comes to the boys and Invincible, because the content, that's kind of what drives those shows forward.
Yeah, but don't forget that it was quite violent for Heroes as well. Was
actually,
quite
above its time. You've never seen superheroes be that violent.
Well,
Siler was going around cutting people's heads open and stuff.
Yeah, I know, but with the BBC, you were limited to what you could actually.
Sure. But they didn't actually do it though. It was ABC, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But BBC run it for us here in this country.
There was a lot of cut. You know, like Siler would walk into the room.
Yeah,
cut
the next
away,
minute,
dead, and then the next bit would be the body would be.
Yeah.
You don't actually. Yeah. Whereas I think if you give it to the right studio, you can make it. I think it needs to be a bit darker and a bit grittier.
Yeah, and like I said, that's where it went back and forth, and yeah. I can't babble on about it because everyone knows what Heroes is at the end of the day. But yeah, I just never forget that year when it was just that popular that people were talking about it straight after, and they had their own show for it and everything. And you know how other shows have progressed from it. Give it back that form, and that's why I reckon it should be rebooted. That's my number 4. Over to you, Mr. Heisenbyrne.
Nice. Right. Okay. So we're going back to Sky Atlantic fucking me over again.
No, not again.
Yeah, going back to it. So this is 2000. And what are we?
Is this the top 5 I hate Sky Atlantic episode?
Just throwing the money at the beginning. Right. So again, during the early days, there was a series called Vegas. And
with Dennis Quaid and Carrie-Anne Moss.
Yeah. And was it the guy from S.H.I.E.L.D.?
Yes. Michael Chiklis.
Chiklis. Right.
Detective Vic Mackey.
And the way it hyped it was that it was going to be the mob just getting into it, brand new sort of sheriff sort of thing, and it was going to be. And it just lost all of its gravitas. Like the Michael Church, he didn't play a roof enough mobster, and they made him out to be too much of a nice guy. And I think with this, what I would like to see is Vegas, but done in the style of giving it me my new Sopranos /
in Vegas
/ Boardwalk Empire.
Nice,
where it's dark and it's gritty and it's literally the mob first coming in, setting up casinos and getting their fingers in, and then obviously just the law enforcement, which is just like separate. It wasn't like a unified like FBI or anything back then. It was just your local sheriff, wasn't it? Your rangers. And I just think
Dennis Quaid was the sheriff, wasn't he?
He got deputized because it like planes or something went over his farm.
That's right, yeah.
It just never really. But the premise was there of it being, I'm basically going to see the prequel to Casino.
Yes, yeah. It was the start of Vegas, wasn't it?
But,
right, the rise of it.
But the mob, he just played a sort of prime time, early evening mob boss. He didn't play like the Kingpin or something, where now we could just go straight up violence from the start.
The afternoon TV type.
The afternoon,
villain, wasn't it?
he's meant to be intimidating, and but he was never. You were never scared of him, sort of thing. So I just think they need to do it bring like a Joe Pesci character, sort of someone who's just have it like the beginning of the mob getting their fingers into Vegas. And I think there's so much you could do because it's all the extortion, the land grabbing.
And it just didn't do it, did it?
It didn't do any of it. It just properly fell flat, and then just when it got cancelled, and you're like...
Yeah, one season, wasn't it? And that was it.
One season, and it was just one of those... but they hyped it to be the start of the mob.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
It just never came. And I think if you gave it the Sopranos grittiness with that sort of old style...
That's how you do it, right?
Boardwalks / sort of like a little bit Deadwood, because it would still be open plan, like city. Just have it a bit more lawless. So like the mob people can be in charge, because nowadays they can't really, because the authorities kind of have got a lot of it locked down compared to it back there. It was a Wild West, wasn't it? So I think there's just so much they could do with it. And I just think, just make it the start throughout the years of the mob and the...
Yeah, absolutely. It was advertised wrong, wasn't it? Again, it was one of those ones where it was the murder mystery of the episode, wasn't it? And was Michael Chiklis involved in it? Turns out he wasn't anyway. So
it was never, but they was like, oh, he's the mob guy. It must be him.
So it must be him.
It's always him.
Let's
It's always him. And there's like, there's an undertone of respect. And you're just like, no, just give me a mob boss, an Al Pacino sort of character back in the day. He just took no shit.
No.
And
it didn't.
Yeah. So you basically needed a strong ranger guy, like a Justified character, who's going to start killing off theirs.
It's nothing wrong with Michael Chiklis. He can play a villain if he wants to, but it's
I
the
just
problem.
didn't think they didn't make him a...
That's what they gave him at the end of the day, wasn't it?
They didn't make him a mob boss. Yeah, they just made it. Yeah, it just made him a bit weak. I think, and I just think they just need to shift the tone a bit and give us a different sort of take on the series.
Yeah, nice, mate. It's a good pick. Let's hope the next one's not from Sky Atlantic.
It is
no,
not.
I think I'm done. Am I done?
It is not.
So what's your 3D then?
So
or 2D?
my 3D number 4. In 1972, a crack commando unit was sent to prison by a military court for a crime they didn't commit. These men promptly escaped from a maximum security stockade to the Los Angeles underground. Today, still wanted by the government, they survive as soldiers of fortune. Chris, if you have a problem, if no one else can help, and if you can find them, then maybe you can hire the A-Team.
I tried to get it inside, sorry.
Nailed it.
I was close.
You get the idea.
You get the idea.
In their black van.
In there.
Black and grey van, is it?
They're grey and
Triggered.
turquoise van. What was it?
Yeah, it's madness.
Apparently there's a Mandela effect. We all remember it as a black and red van. But now when you rewatch it, it's grey and...
And if you Google it, it's like it's grey on the top.
Grey and blue or something you said, wasn't it?
It's grey and black, but it's like it's never been grey.
It's
It's never been grey.
This is why you should never listen to Google all the time. A-Team, anyway. Good. Why the A-Team, sir?
Why the hell not, basically? I think that's my own argument, really.
But it was a good show. Why you want to reboot it?
No, I want more.
Just up to date.
Yeah, I just want
Just
more
current.
up to date. Yeah, that's what it boils down to. So this is what I said about your perception of a show and sort of what's your idea of a reboot. I just want a bit more, basically.
Okay.
We had the...
Would you have a perfect cast for it now, Dom?
Oh, perfect.
Escape from Guantanamo Bay.
You'll have to come back to me on
We'll come back to that, but yeah.
Pedro Pascal.
Oh, God. as the A-Team, just him himself.
or Vin Diesel. We had the... Well, we had the 2010 film, which was
brilliant.
Good.
I loved it.
It was good. Nothing else sort of followed that.
I can't understand why.
Well, more. That's all I'm going to say on the A-Team, really. We all know what the A-Team is.
The problem is that when it came out, no one really knew youngster-wise what the A-Team was. So it's why I never really...
No, I think the concept evaded us as kids. We just enjoyed the action, and they were builders. They get trapped in a warehouse, and Mr. T would build something, and then they would get out, and they'd crash the van.
I would like
the bad
to
guys would
see
give up.
the crime they didn't commit, if you know what I mean.
Yes.
Well, it was discussed.
Season 1 is them getting framed.
Yeah, but they were captured at the end of season 1. The military police did pick them up, and I think that the episode, it ends on the cliffhanger of them getting shot. So they're shot by this kind of court martial that goes on, and the crime is discussed during that episode. Can I remember fucking what it was? No, I cannot. But
so how would you do it then? Are you going for the dark and gritty? Would you make it more realistic? Or would you still keep it like the fun aspect of the show?
Quite light and entertaining is the way that I would stick with it. But just with that.
Are you still keeping it 80s, or are we going current?
No, I'd go current. I think anything that you reboot, I think you can't
give it the Stranger Things effect.
Stranger Things is Stranger Things. It's done it very, very well. And I think anything else that would try and mimic that now, people just go, they're just trying to do Stranger
that,
Things.
Yeah.
No, you're in danger of trying to recreate a decade that's gone. A show has done it very, very well, but it's because nothing became before that show that they're rebooting off the back of. So, yeah, if you do the A-Team, it has to be current. I think if they're ex-special forces, then they have to be from Afghanistan or something like that. One of the current conflicts.
They'd have to have that type of background, wouldn't they?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. I mean, obviously, when it came out...
or something.
Yeah, I mean, it came out in 1983, and their crime was committed in 1972. So if we did, let's say, 2026, it would have to be 2015 that this crime would have been committed.
But you could do it in Iraq. You could have done it.
Yeah, Iraq, or any of the more recent.
Just a typical Michael Bay one.
Bow, bow, bow.
Pick
a Middle Eastern conflict.
The guy who played Hannibal was the guy who shot Osama bin Laden or something.
That's
or
it.
whatever.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, he was. Yes, they were embroiled in the whole 9/11 thing, and then they had to cover it up. And this was the
they
crack
were framed for 9/11.
They were framed. They lobbed bin Laden's body out of the helicopter. I'm not really going to say anything else about it. I think I've already mentioned A-Team several times on some of my lists. So, yeah.
So you still keep the fun side
fun
to it,
aspect of it, I think. And now the way that we make TV, and Chris was saying it earlier, you can have a little bit more blood, you can have a little bit more violence, as long as that's not the main focus of the show. The focus should be on the storytelling and the characters. It always should be, which is one of the main reasons I always watch a TV show. That's what drives it forward. But yeah, you can have that element of it as long as you don't focus too much on it. So, yeah, quite light and entertaining, I think, at its core, as the A-Team should be.
It's weird how we, some of these shows we were mentioning, like the older ones, where we say it would be like the Saturday afternoon TV show thing. We never have a show now that has that feel to it, like Lois and Clark, The Adventures of, or something. You remember it used to be on BBC every afternoon, Saturday afternoon or whatever.
The only thing close to that comes to that sort of time that I watch now is it Gladiators, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
like
well, the reboots, right?
The 5:45s. There's nothing around that. It's either
strictly
it's after 8
dancing
o'clock.
Or whatever it is. Yeah.
Everything you sort of watch now is after 8 o'clock, and those there's none of those sort of
6 p.m.
They all died in the 90s, the early
Due
2000s.
South.
Due South. I bet that's on.
Due North.
Due North. Yeah. Let's go the other direction.
So what's the 2D
the
then?
2D, and I think you could probably talk about this more than I could, Anne, because it's Mask.
Oh.
Ah, is it
Mask?
Yeah.
Nice.
That's a banging thing.
God, that'd be so good. That would be. That'd have to be live action though for me. If I rebooted.
Oh
it
yeah,
as a TV show.
no. This is one of the ones. So I toyed between what should these particular picks be, but this one has to be live action. I want to see those vehicles transform, and not a Michael Bay transform, but it just turn into.
That's one hell of a budget for a TV show.
Mobile Armored Strike Command. Yeah, definitely. I mean, it was a cheesy cartoon, but it was loved
so good though.
And it was good because the concept was good. And again, it's designed to sell toys, but the toys were awesome. Now with today's budgets, and it wouldn't take a lot. I think it would be a really, really good show. One thing I did watch recently, and it was based on the computer game, and it had Anthony Mackie in it. God, what was it called? Oh, God, what was it called?
Not Black Mirrors.
No. Oh, no. It was a PlayStation computer game where it was futuristic cars. You were driving like a rally.
Oh, Twisted Metal.
Twisted Metal.
Twisted Metal, yeah.
Yeah, so I watched that and I really enjoyed that. Hopefully it'll come for a second season, I don't know. But I just think...
it's got a second season, yeah.
Yeah, with not that theme, that concept, because that's something completely different. But I think just watching that, it's kind of made me realise you could make a series like Mask, and make it happen.
Yeah.
And make it look really, really good.
The problem was that it wasn't just the cars, was it, for Mask? You had aero vehicles and stuff like that as well, and helicopters and planes and stuff. I mean,
get Disney on board.
The thing is that if you do Mask, the story could be so good, and how and you can
totally.
I mean, you can still try and give it a sort of realistic tone if you wanted to,
now
and it would still work.
I don't think you need to go dark. I think you just need to go sort of Avengers, like
just real
Avengers, sort of like the way Marvel have done it. It doesn't need to be like super violent or aggressive. It just needs to be done like an Avengers movie, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. And just put into an 8-part series. I mean, if you look at something like Fallout, for example, that has the budget for an episode all the time and they deliver. You could so do that with Mask as well. And it would...
You don't necessarily need like a Venom arch enemy. Oh, no, hang on. What was it?
It was Venom, yeah.
Vicious evil network of mayhem. I mean, brilliant.
For sure. Mayhem for sure.
Yeah, but it was just but that's what I'm saying. You don't have to have everything in one episode. You can stretch it out, and then you can, that vehicle, I used to have that as a toy.
Yeah, it's not always Miles Mayhem just causing trouble. You could have situations, a bit like, they could be international rescue, that kind of idea.
Yeah.
And just go off and sort out issues around the world. But I just think, it's got potential, and it's one of the ones that I've just
best
loved to
vehicle
see.
ever, like that plane, helicopter.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I love that ship.
So
I loved
fucking
Rhino.
awesome.
Rhino was the one for me.
And I had the F1 car that split off, become a plane, and you had the two motorcycle parts.
Yeah. I remember that.
Yeah.
But we can't have the kid with the cheap R2D2.
Oh, no.
Thing. That's got to go.
But that's the same shit. They just put those things in for like, we've got to
But
have it
that's
for the
toy,
kids. And it's like the
That's
same
the
with
Orco, that's the
Yes, it is.
Snarf.
Yeah.
Snarf can go fuck himself. Same with, but I think
So no reboot for Thundercats.
no, Thundercat needs a reboot. Just don't need him.
Just don't put
We've already
Snarf
got a
in
script
it.
for it.
Yeah.
I liked it.
That was a long time ago as well.
And a cast.
No, and a cast. Oh God, don't get me wrong. The cast. That's so 26 years old. That cast now. One of them's
Big
dead
brain.
as well.
Oh yeah,
so-
no, you're right. He
Who's
is,
that?
Michael
Clark Duncan as
Michael Clark
Panther.
Duncan.
Yeah.
Oh, Panther as Lino.
I had Mel Gibson.
Pre meltdown.
But don't forget, I mean, he was just coming off of What Women Want when I wrote this script. So
Nailed it.
Yeah, I won't talk too much more about Mask because you covered it on previous episodes.
Yes,
and you
good
did
pick,
it
mate,
well.
as
So,
always.
but yeah, just a concept that we could do and people could enjoy.
absolutely.
Yes.
So let's move on to the number 3s.
Number 3.
So my number 3, I don't know if people are gonna like this pick of mine for number 3, but
If they do.
we use this show quite a bit on our show, and I'll give you a hint.
X-Files.
Oh, right.
So my number 3 is X-Files.
Just because we need more stuff like it.
Because we need more stuff like it. I mean, not just that. I mean, the reboot for X-Files has been in the talks for ages. I believe Jordan Peele was behind it at one point. But how would I do it? Why do I think it needs to be done? Let's face it, the truth is out there will always be a thing for everyone, whether it's true or not, or there's life beyond Earth, anything like that at all. But how would you do it? I mean, I would try and do it in 2 different ways. If anyone doesn't know what X-Files is, by the way, it was a massive show in the 90s that was to deal with 2 FBI agents that dealt with extraterrestrial or supernatural type cases that involved things that would never actually be real in this world unless you truly believed, that is. So the reboot, let's say, like I said, we could do it with 2 new FBI agents and we can have it where they pass the torch on, or we can just go full on, straight, completely start all over again. Doesn't have to be Mulder and Scully. It could be 2 brand new characters, but go through the same thing over and over again. Prime example with this was Supernatural. I mean, that's kind of like, that in a way, obviously, but that's more to do with supernatural, not extraterrestrial sort of stuff. And I think it can just work, especially today with, when you say X-Files, for people that know it, instantly know what they're in for and stuff. And when you've got people like Jordan Peele, who's behind a lot of current horror movies and stuff like that, I mean, you could have other producers that do it. And, I think Disney own the rights to it now, which is probably the problem at the moment. But there's so much they could do with this right now. And when you've got nowadays technology like you didn't have in the 90s, you've got Googles, you've got conspiracy theorists that go
You've got the rabbit hole of the internet.
Yeah, exactly. And obviously other world current events that have been happening with COVID and other, things that, happen in the world recently and stuff. You can go on and just utilize brand new storylines, or maybe just reboot some old ones. Some old characters can come back into it or something. It has potential, and I just think it'd be, if they ever did it, I'd be on their day one watching that show.
They could do it in a sense of, I don't know whether, because they were very locked in a cupboard, weren't they?
Yeah.
Whereas, could it be that the department's a bit more open to it, and, they have a bit more of a budget, and it's not so much of a shunned department. It's still a bit like you're a bit kooky, but it's not so much of a. That's where you go to.
This is
to
it,
pass
exactly.
out. They're like, okay, there is weird. It's not like that. It's aliens, but there's just stuff we can't
still explain,
which then goes into this. I think, yeah.
But then you go into stuff like, why is the government now saying that Area 51 really exists and showing the location for it and stuff like that?
Because they moved it.
Exactly. So it's
to 52.
just. But then again, that's another storyline. So there we go. And there's just so much to it, and I just think it could work nowadays as well. It would be a cracking show still.
It would, because it kind of relied on a lot of like the Cold War and what had happened in the 50s and the 60s and the 70s. Well, yeah, in the last 20, 25 years, there's been a lot. That they could
Everything was researched in books, most of it.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of papers, the newspaper cuttings, whereas it'd all be backdated with the internet and stuff, all of that stuff you'd have.
Well, now everybody gets their news off Facebook, Chris.
Yeah,
This is it.
It would be true.
And then you've got the whole thing with AI now. So obviously when people see stuff, they'll go, oh, it's just AI. But then what if it was an actual video of it? You'd just be like, you're none the wiser. And it could just work. X-Files would be great nowadays. And it should have a comeback, I believe.
think there's no sort of weird...
Or reboot, sorry. That's what
no weird sort of... that sort of concept out there. There's nothing ticking that box.
Not at the moment. You mentioned earlier about Fringe. I liked when Fringe came on the scene, and I think it was the very first episode.
First episode.
Yeah, it was Lance Reddick's character that he said a line, and he said, "Oh, we're moving on from the old X-Files department." And I thought, because it's still got its place in popular culture.
Yeah.
So
that will always be there.
Yeah. Did you watch Fringe?
I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved Fringe.
Yeah, I love Fringe.
I just thought it got a bit tenant at the end. It was like, just trying to be like, what the hell is going on here?
It's still good though.
It was great.
Yeah. I like the concept of Fringe. Didn't quite replace the X-Files, but it was
it was
comfortably with it.
It was a nice progression, because the X-Files hadn't quite that long been, it wasn't a thing of the past. It was still, it's X-Files with a budget, you had all of these special effects.
Tackling subjects that they didn't quite tackle in the X-Files as well, which was good.
Yeah, which, like you said...
And that's what I'm saying, they can use it, utilise it, and make the show out of it.
I don't care what you say, mate. Eugene Toombs.
Oh.
Yes!
Scariest...
Every time I see him in anything else, he's just...
Oh, that guy.
And that's what I'm saying, he could make a little comeback in this or something.
Eugene Toombs is the scariest character that I have ever seen in a show like that, because... Oh, mate.
Yeah.
Crawling down your chimney.
It works. My number 3, X-Files.
Good choice.
Over to you, Chris. What's your number 3?
My number 3 is a series called Klondike. Did you ever watch that?
I think I do know it. I haven't watched it, though.
It was a series on Amazon. It was just one of these ones that I was scrolling through, and you're like, ooh. And it had Tim Roth. So I was instantly like, I'm definitely going to watch that. And Richard Madden, Robb Stark from Game of Thrones.
Okay.
And it's basically the first gold rush in Alaska.
Okay.
So they've gone to this little Alaskan town, started the gold rush, like digging up. But the reason it was one of these ones I was like, oh, series 2. And I looked at it and I was like, oh shit, 2004. And bearing in mind we were like 2020. And I was like, oh. This is like pre Game of Thrones. I was like,
yeah.
Oh, it's never coming back. And this one, did you ever watch Deadwood?
Yes.
Yeah. With
Lovejoy
and Oliphant.
Yes. Yeah. Timmy Olyphantastic.
Yeah, Olyphantastic. So it's basically / Deadwood with a bit of gold rush and a bit of mining. So with this series, it's set up that he got his plot of land and he was digging his hole and he was starting to make his discovery of gold. But then you have to kind of watch your hole. So he ends up having all of these fights, killing people, and it ends up being a bit of like a cutthroat series. So it's like they laid all of these groundworks for it to be done, but nothing ever comes of it. You know, you've got a whole town there. You've got this whole underbelly of like people who can't afford to pay for their land, so someone rich will come and take it and then just take all the gold. And it's just like, I think the concept of it being like a Deadwood / set on that final frontier with the gold rush setting, I think there was so much it could have done, and I think it just got cancelled because he went to Game of Thrones. And I think that's the only sort of reason. And I loved, Deadwood? I thought Deadwood was a quality sort of like saloon sort of town, but it would have that with a mix of bit of that Red Dead sort of feel. You know, it'd be like sort of those missions you've got to go and.
Is this how you're going to reboot it?
This is basically what the show was.
Right, okay.
But it doesn't need to be rebooted in anything other than that the premise is there. You know, like I want a show about the early days of the gold rushing and just make it ruthless, like back in the Wild West, where you had to defend your stuff with your life. And it was basically the survival of the strong survive, basically. Yeah. I think... Yeah,
only the strong survive, sort of thing.
Basically, only the strong survive. And it's just one of those ones that it was like... I watched the whole thing, and I was like, it's never coming back. And I just think
would you have continued it if you rebooted it then?
Yeah, I would have continued it, or I would have just continued it in the sense of call it again Klondike or the Yukon or Habit, but just have it. Doesn't need to be Richard Madden. The story, it doesn't need to be anybody famous. It just needs to be done with a bit of budget. Just give me a sort of 1923 feel.
Okay.
Yeah, that sort of feel with a bit of Deadwood / those two. That's how I'd basically market this film, this series, and just have it as just a guy trying to make his fortune, and everybody else trying to make their fortune, and everybody else trying to take their fortune. And I think there's just so much it could have gone.
Nice.
And how, it just could have got really, really violent, I thought. Like, there's a lot of documentaries, if you watch about it back in the day, where it's just, you just end up dead. You're buried in your mind.
Sometimes for no reason.
For no reason, just for like shovels or whatever. You just take back in the day. And I was thinking of it. I was like, and that's kind of what I've kind of done my list on something that I felt maybe a bit like unfulfilled. You know, like.
Yeah, because a lot of these are cancelled shows, Chris, not reboots.
No, the reboot is because it's there to be rebooted to make it go again. I've done it in the sense of like, I know what you're saying, like the cancel, but the stipulation was never been done twice, wasn't it?
Gotcha.
So I've done it in a sense of, for whatever reason, it wasn't good enough the first time round. So let's do it right.
Yes.
Let's do it again, and let's do it right.
So would you put more characters into it then, or just keep it as it was?
I'd probably just embellish it a bit more. But it's the story of the setting of it being the first gold rush, being in the Yukon, and just setting up that Wild West sort of town.
Right.
That's how I would have this. I'm not caring about the characters or such. It's just give me something on that sort of on that, because I love Gold Rush. Any sort of Gold Rush programs, any sort of gold mining programs, I love it. I watch documentaries about it.
Now I know why you like Western Legends.
Yeah, Western Legends. That sort of, it's just a little IP that tickles.
Doesn't get used much either.
Doesn't get used much, and I think there's. Did you watch 1923?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, Timothy Dalton's character, like how nasty he is. There's a lot of. You could put a lot of
the
those.
great Bond himself.
There's a lot of those characters that you could put in, and there's a lot of character-driven. I would make it a lot of character because you want to be invested in these characters and you want to follow it and make it. But just don't make it boring.
Nice,
drag it out.
Yeah,
but it was called The Yukon. It was one season. It was on Amazon. It was pretty decent. Tim Roth was in it, so that's what kind of tickled my fancy the first bit. But yeah, it was just. Kind of wish they gave me a bit more, or
just more, yeah.
Just like the A-Team, just wanted more.
Just wanted more.
Just want more, Chris.
Nice pick, mate. Over to number 3 for 3D, sir.
3D, and we're going to be talking about a real right bastard. Richard Sharp.
Okay.
I love Sharp. I think the TV series was done well. Wasn't perfect.
What is Sharp for the people that don't know what it is?
Sharp was a soldier during the Peninsular War who was famous for fictionally saving the life of Arthur Wellesley, Lord Wellington. He somehow just rose right through the ranks and became Major Sharp, I think, towards the end.
Major
Bastard Sharp. Played by Sean Bean, and very, very well. But yeah, it was done nearly to perfection. I want more, and I think if you did it in this day and age, it would be done well, because a lot of historical reenactment shows or films that we watch now, and I know we're only talking 30 years on from when Sharp was originally made, but it would look glorious, I think.
Right.
So all during the Napoleonic War, his time in India, the Peninsular War with Spain and France, and I just think it would, visually it would look brilliant. You need an actor who can carry it like Sean Bean did for the characterisation of Richard Sharp. Anyone else, you can get anyone else for the rest of the 95th Rifles, as the
Kit Harington.
Kit Harington, you reckon? Kit Harington? Well,
I don't know. So
maybe.
So in your reboot, are you redoing the original and more?
I think, I mean, like any Marvel film now, they touch on the origins of characters because we know what the origins of these characters are now, and then you can just go straight into the action. Now, obviously, with the Bernard Cornwell novels of Sharp, the source material, you can't change. People know it. People love it. I think but you can adapt it. You can kind of skirt around some of the things that they didn't cover off in the TV series that's possibly in the novels. But also you can slap a story in between as well. So just adventures of Sharp in the 95th that didn't happen on TV.
And you can make the battles a lot.
Yes,
the battles and the budget on that would trump.
The final story of the continuous TV series before they started doing specials and things like that, where they go to the Battle of Waterloo and he finally gets to see Napoleon, and ultimately the Empire wins. They fight off France and they march off into the distance to victory. But it was good, but it was on a shoestring budget. And the whole time we just think, well, I'm loving it. This is cutting my jib, but I just think you're right, Chris. With a new, up-to-date, modern budget, it would look absolutely fantastic. You could go. They went on location, but it was always the same part of Gibraltar, or wherever the hell they went, in order to recreate Spain or France. Or but you could actually go to these parts of the world now, I think, because it's a standard. You just go on location and shoot it where it's meant to be, and it would look great. Yeah, Kit Harington, that's an interesting choice.
No, I just again Game of Thrones related, but would they have Bastard in it?
Yeah, of course they would. Yes, you've got to.
And would Mr. Bean have a cameo?
Mr. Bean?
Yeah, Mr. Sean Bean, would he be having a cameo?
Oh, I thought you meant Mr. Bean.
If you
not
Mr. Bean general or something.
Hello, Bastard.
One of the people outside of, like a special character, like.
Well, I mean, he could even be Wellesley himself. He could be Lord Wellington, or something like that. Yeah,
I think Sean Bean's still going to be popping up in it.
Yeah, because he is Richard Sharp, isn't he? it would just be the continuation of, and much the same, like I've said, if you can interject stories in between the well-known novels that they've adapted for the TV series, I think that would be a good show as well. But yeah.
I never watched Sharp properly.
I know of it. I think I watched a little bit when my parents watched it, but I was just a kid at the time, so I wasn't really knowing what it was.
It is good. It is good. I've read a lot of the novels, but not all of them. My partner Helen, I mean, she's a very, very big Sharp fan. She would be all over.
Because when did it come out?
93.
Yeah, so I assume back then as a kid, I was like, periodic drama, boring.
Yeah, 93 was the year of dinosaurs.
Yeah,
Jurassic Park. So, yeah. Do I have that or dinosaurs?
Togas. But I kind of wish I kind of do wish I watched it, because obviously anything that Sean Bean's in is always good.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and he didn't die. He stayed alive.
And he did a backstab, apparently.
Yes.
Would you kill him off in the reboot?
Would have killed him off in the
First
reboot. Yeah,
episode.
probably, yeah.
First episode, first thing.
That's what you got to do with Sean Bean now, isn't it?
Introducing Sean Bean. You know
oh, it said introducing, he's dying. He's so dying.
Because winter's not coming, the French are coming.
No, exactly, yeah. The French are coming, bastards.
Yeah, bastards.
So what's the 2D
for
then?
the 2D, for number 3 is Centurions Power Extreme. Yes. Which came out in 1986.
God, what a show.
It is 40 years old. A 40-year-old
Is it that old?
Yeah.
Fuck me, I'm old.
We all are, mate. We all are.
Some older than others.
Explain what Centurions is, though.
Centurions follows Max Ray, Jake Rockwell, and Ace McCloud. They don exo-frame suits and power up to become the Centurions. Basically, they're a kind of an elite team.
Ex-military, weren't they?
Ex-military that fight the war on terror, essentially.
Yes.
So you've got Doc Terror, because they are fighting the war on terror, and his minion Hacker and their drones. They are essentially terrorists. And they step in every single time that they're stepping out of line and just sort of slap them around a bit and teach them who's boss. Another cartoon produced to sell toys, and what toys they were.
Good God, they were so good.
Absolutely awesome. I went to Portsmouth a few months ago, and I went to a little toy shop that's there. I think it's called the Old Monster Toy Shop or Classic Monster Toy Shop, something like that. But
they had them in there?
They had all 3 of them.
No way.
It was a lot of money. I mean, don't get me wrong. I collect old toys. I would have done it, but I was staring at them and I just thought, oh, these are beautiful.
It's like, do we get these or new cameras for the show?
Yeah, or food for my table.
That's it.
But they are things of beauty. But yeah, those are the toys. No, like much of the cartoon output at the time, it was pretty standard fare, done right, and done on a weekly basis, always with that undertone of right from wrong. And I think, I can't remember, it's been so long since I've seen it. Did we used to have a little bit at the end like He-Man where they'd say, oh, and by the way, kids, don't do drugs?
Yeah.
I think they did, didn't they? Yeah. Which, again, it made it... It made it so appealing because you thought, oh, yeah, I'm listening to Mr.
I mustn't do drugs.
I must... Yeah, I won't clearly be doing drugs anymore.
But I just love the fact how each Centurion was unique to their...
So
like one was to do with the air, one was to do with sea, land.
By virtue of his name, Ace McCloud was the pilot, basically.
Yep.
Jake Rockwell was the guy that was on land, Rock, and then you had Max Ray, as in like a stingray. So yeah, he was the guy that went underwater. What I loved was the configuration of the armor, and that determined what kind of power they had and what kind of firepower that they had as well. And again with the toys, because you had so many different suits that you could buy or add-ons. But if we...
I saw there were suits with just holes,
well,
and they would attach them,
the
wouldn't
bits
they?
would literally snap in. And I think it was such a great concept. And it was kind of riding off the idea of Transformers and things like that. But it was done ever so slightly differently. So if you took maybe Transformers and G.I. Joe, then you'd
put
get
the two together.
Yeah, put the two together. You had Centurions. Brilliant.
You're on
didn't they have didn't they like shoot them down from a space station?
Yeah,
their parts or something.
For any other name, it was called like Skynet or something.
That's it,
Yeah, it was something like that.
Like
or the satellite in the sky. And they would always shoot down to Earth and then fight off Doc Terror's drones. But let's discuss. Would you do live action or would you do another animated version?
Live action all the way. That deserves to be a movie, let alone a TV series.
Would we Michael Bay it or would
yes,
we,
you'd have to. You'd have to.
I think, even if it was just one and done, I think
Scorsese.
I would.
I mean, I'd like to have the cartoon back to bring the toys back.
Yeah,
as a
definitely,
reboot, definitely. But how would you animate it this day and age? That's the problem. I don't want it to go down the Thunderbirds reboot where it was all horrible CGI
much
looking.
The same as Visionaries. It was primary colour driven, wasn't it?
Wasn't it?
Again, we used the word pop, but the cartoon did pop, probably more than things like Transformers and Thundercats. How would you do it? I don't know. It would have to be very realistic. I don't think you could like Disney Pixar it or anything like that.
It'd be depending on the tone of it at the end of the day, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I would go so far as to say I think that manga, anime would suit it. If you could possibly do it that way, but I don't know. But yeah, live action most definitely.
Yeah.
It has to be a lot of big explosions, a lot of big military vehicles and big suits.
So friggin' good.
Yeah, definitely. Who would be your main man?
And the TV series, I don't know. I mean, as a movie, Chris Pratt would play Rockwell.
Oh, Pratt, yes. Yeah, most definitely.
Totally play Rockwell.
Yeah, Max Ray, so Bobby Downey Jr.
yeah.
Ace McLeod.
Tom Cruise.
No,
they're too old, man, honestly. But God, that's another question. Leonard Nimoy would be Dr. Terror.
Yeah.
Does he look like him anyway?
He's
Come
got
on.
a face for it, isn't he? Yeah.
Bring him back from the dead. I don't know. That's if it was a dream.
For another time. But yeah, Centurions, purely because I loved it and I want to see more. And live action, I think, would do it 100% justice.
Exactly. Good pick, mate. I would have picked that if we were doing kids shows.
We are doing kids shows.
We are doing kids shows. Anyway, let's go to the number twos.
Number 2.
Right, so my number 2 then. My number 2 is going to go into Howard's children's shows territory. And my number 2, I've been waiting for a remake of a reboot of this for years and years and years. Nightmare.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Let's face it.
I'm so excited about that now.
The reason I picked this is because VR is shit hot now compared to what that show was back in the 80s and stuff. But that was one of my favorite shows of all time. And if no one knows what it is, it was basically Dungeons and Dragons. If one of you was the dungeoneer that goes in and your friends would guide you. You basically were sort of blindfolded and they would make you say step forward, step backwards, whatever. And each room would be a danger, a riddle to solve, or something to carry on progressing through and win the game. But they used a lot of technology now, which is very digitized and very looked like it was meant to be a VR sort of thing, wasn't it? Like you'd go in a massive room and there'd be a snake in the middle and you try to like walk around it and stuff.
One person on a bench.
Yeah.
I mean, also, like, think of AI what you will, but the advent of AI where it could, in the moment, think about the reaction it could give to the person who was following the crawl, the dungeon crawl.
But you could do it as a team.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
Would it just be one person in there and there might be a bit more talking, like interacting between the two? It'd be like you're just walking through this massive where you end up.
Exactly. You could have two different teams and which one would get to them first or anything at all. There's so much different ways you can do it now. And like I said, with effects now and people's love for D&D gets bigger every year with thanks to ever since, again, mentioning Stranger Things coming up and stuff. And that gets bigger every year. More and more people do role-playing games nowadays and stuff. We do it on the channel now as well. So it has so much potential to be, you know, back to its old roots of what it was, but just better with better looking. Like I say, it's so dated for what it was, what it is now. But when you go back and look at it, that was literally the show I would run home to school on a Friday afternoon.
We talked about that, didn't
we? Didn't we? And just go. I just cannot wait for that show every time. And like I say, you got a decent enough presenter as well that would really go into their character for what they were. What was he again? Traegard, that's it. And it would work so well. And good God, please, someone do it. I don't care if it's Challenge or Bravo or whatever.
Yeah, Bravo.
Just get it done because it will be. And,
Bravo.
and even if you could do like an adult version, like Critical Role, who do something like that.
Yes,
Oh my God. Just, yes, make it happen. Someone, please. It deserves to be rebooted. That's why it's my number 2.
Oh, I love it. Good pick.
Nice.
Good pick.
Over to you, Chris.
So this one wasn't cancelled. Well, it probably was cancelled, but it just ran it. This one, this
it
one
wasn't,
is,
we're going to cancel.
No, this one was, I believe it was a iPlayer.
Ooh.
So this one I want to just bring up to the current year. I want to make it budget and a bit more polished. And it is, what was it? Ultimate Force with Ross Kemp.
Ross Kemp. Yes,
Kemp.
I remember. Yeah.
So this one, I don't know if you ever watch any series is like SEAL Team or The Unit. Or any of
I know The Unit.
These American sort of.
It's got the president from
24
24 in it, yeah.
So for some reason, the Americans seem to do these things with their military where they glorize it and they hype it, and you get all of these high polished
Strike Team and all that stuff,
shows about SEAL Team or like Delta Force and stuff. But there's nothing about the SAS apart from Ultimate Force, which we were restricted to BBC sort of budgets, locations, and restraints. Whereas if you give me like like Sky Max at the moment that you get it on, or Sky, give us that sort of budget, or give me that sort of budget, make it the British SAS going to Iraq.
So basically the British side of the military.
Just give me the unit or the SEAL Team, but I want British side of just British dialogue, British humour, but a British side of the military, because you only ever see it from the Americans. You don't really kind of see it.
Because they write history, Chris, that's why.
They do. And they invade Greenland.
They did, yeah.
But yeah, this one was just. I just
please don't cancel us, Mr. Trump.
Oh yeah, sorry. Apologies, Trump. So yeah, I just want to see just the British SAS. Basically, just want to see
just the SAS, or would you go for like other departments of it at all?
No, because the other departments have been done, or like. Yeah, because the Americans have been done, unless we were going like Korea or something. Like,
who would you cast now?
I don't know.
Who's the new British tough guy now?
What if it was a TV series?
Oh, Matey from Skins.
Okay,
or the guy from Unbroken.
I know, Jack O'Connell.
Yeah. So, like that
plays Jimmy Savile in the 28 years.
Oh my God.
Yeah, but something like, like that's maybe not him as the main guy. Because he might be a bit too young.
Part of the team.
Of the team, you know. So, who could be... Do you know what? I didn't think that far. But I should have.
Again, it's potential, isn't it? Would Ross Kemp have a cameo in it? Would he be like their boss or something?
Or maybe you could have Ross Kemp as their commander. Like the person who's dishing out the mission, or some sort of like a congressman, or just something just in there.
Would Phil Mitchell be the bad guy?
He's too busy being the hard man in Walford, isn't he? Yeah, I just think it just needed a little bit of a polish to bring it up to like SEAL Team value. Just glorify the best of the best, the SAS, because everybody else just not as good.
Nice. Would you make so? Would it be? I mean, I didn't watch the one with Ross Kemp in it. Would you change the tone of it at all, or would it stick to?
I would make it a lot more serious, a lot more. Like with them going into places behind enemy lines, there'd be a lot of like international, like issues.
Because I know that the American ones, they kind of start off serious, but then they kind of go cheesy as more seasons go.
The problem that I find with these programs is that they have to come home.
Yeah.
And then they have the annoying issues with the wives who just
the same old.
And you're like, oh, she's cheating, she's doing something. Oh, they can't accept that she's getting shot at, but they've been married for 25 years.
Yeah.
And it's like, fuck the women off. just like
women know your limits.
No, but the unit. I don't know if you ever watched the unit. The unit became like the housewives of military. It became more about the wives and their bullshit drama than it actually being about the missions. And I think we just need it more.
To stick with the guys and
Well, not the guys, because you can bring the females like if they're good enough.
Yeah, but do it properly. Yeah, don't do the same old storyline every now.
Just don't. I know, they've got to have a family life and have it, but don't make it so much of a. We don't need that much of a storyline.
Yeah, we don't need to negate the rest of the show for this.
We don't need half an hour of life at home. And 15 minutes of just mix it up.
It's like the annoying superhero films where they always want that person who wants to be normal, and it's like, no, we want to be superheroes. We want to see superheroes. You don't want to be normal anymore.
No, but we've got all of this stuff like they can be going behind enemy lines into Russia. All of these compounds, I just think it just needs to be, and all the stuff that you don't know that they've done. They could just make up all of these cool little missions and stuff that's been on in the
They've been behind enemy lines. Now they're going to do the one thing that's worse. Their wives.
But was it the guy, I think it was Nairobi, the guy who just happened to be on his day off and he was SAS and he just like took out like a whole mall. You see about that guy?
No.
He was SAS and he was on his day off. Basically.
Wife pissed him off, clearly.
Cleared out.
Sent him shopping.
Nice pick. There's over to Mr. Howard. It's Mr. Captain Two List with 3D.
My number 2 for 2D. And
2D?
Sorry, for 3D. Forgot what list I'm doing. My number 2 for 3D, the live action TV series Reboot, is Blake 7.
Okay, I thought this would come into it somewhere. I thought it might be a number 1, to be honest, but
not number 1. And I'll tell you why it's not number 1. Because let's do the concept. So, created by Terry Nation in 1978, it was kind of meant to rival but sit alongside Doctor Who because it was a BBC-owned product. And for 4 years, it did just that. It was as popular, if not a little bit more, than Doctor Who, with the concept, the storytelling, the special effects. Now, it was 1970s BBC, don't get me wrong. It wasn't absolutely stellar, spectacular, but it was good. And it basically followed the freedom fighter Rog Blake and his band of merry men as they fight against the Intergalactic Federation run by the evil overlord Servalan. To say that it was running under par the whole time is a bit of an understatement, really. They could have done so much more with it. But what they did do has stuck in the memories of science fiction fans for many, many years. So much so that within the last week, now bear in mind I wrote this list quite a little while ago. The Last of Us director Peter Hoare has officially opened up a company called Multitude Productions to reboot Blake 7.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So they're going to go for it, apparently, and this is off the back of the recent Doctor Who Disney deal that went a little bit sour. So I think they're currently looking for that gap in the market until Doctor Who can pick its socks up again.
Okay.
To put out some classic British science fiction.
Nice.
So it kind of makes
you can't wait.
I can't wait. I mean, it kind of makes this pick academic, really, because it's about to happen. So many
it's
times.
Getting a reboot.
It's getting a reboot. So many times they've tried over the last 20, 30 years to do it, and they came very, very close. Sky even had it, and I think it fell at the last hurdle. The money fell through, or they lost faith in the project. It didn't happen. I mean, I would always put Blake 7 as a number 2 to Doctor Who. I love BBC science fiction from the 60s, from the 70s. I think I've made that pretty damn clear. I just wish it had gone on for so many more years. It ended prematurely, as many series do. Avon, who was his kind of second in command, who was always just on the cusp of stabbing Blake in the back to try and get command of the ship, the Liberator, because it's the best ship in the universe, in the entire galaxy, and to shoot off into the night and sort of make his millions and do his own thing. But yeah, I don't know what to say, really.
So how would you do it then?
How would I do it?
Are you going to stick with the cheesiness of the 70s?
No. The danger is, I think now with Star Wars and Star Trek, because it came out a year after Star Wars hit the cinema, and that's kind of what it was designed to not mimic, but homage, I think, if you like, because you had a very tiny BBC budget. There's not a lot you could do with it. It was rough, it was ready. And it wasn't as glossy as Star Wars, but yeah, I think the danger now is that if you try to do something with that concept,
the new Star Treks,
it's going to look like Star Trek or Star Wars. So how would you do it? Does anybody remember in the 90s, and I think it was 95, 96, it was called A Space and Above and Beyond. It came out a couple of years after X-Files, and it was by the same production team. I think it was Chris Carter.
Yes, it was only one season, though, wasn't it?
It was only one season, yeah. Now, that had quite a realistic edge to it. I think if you ground it a little bit more in the real world with spaceships that aren't as fantastical and kind of uniforms that are still recognizable from present day but set in the future, I think that might work. Just don't try to do what's already been done, because that I love Star Trek, but the more Star Trek series that you get, it just moves so further and further and further away from the original IP that we had. Strange New Worlds did it very well. I think that was really, really good. But some of the other ones that they've done, I just think it's so unrecognizable, and that's the danger you have with Blake Seven.
The newest one, The Academy, is...
I haven't even seen it.
You're in for a treat.
Isn't Robert Picardo in it? Is he? Okay.
I'm not saying.
I mean, again, this pick is academic. It's being done. So I will probably just leave it to see what Peter Hall does with it.
Okay.
Because that was a good series, Last of Us.
Yeah, to a degree.
Okay. I have faith.
but production-wise, yes.
Yeah. Adaptation-wise is another thing.
Yeah.
So, for my 2D number 2, Brave Star from 1987.
Yeah, all right.
So, set in the distant future on the planet of New Texas, the Native American Marshall Bravestar, who has the strength of the bear, speed of the puma, eyes of the hawk, and ears of the wolf, basically marshals this outlawed planet, as it were. He's trying to bring justice to New Texas with alien threats and Tex Hex as the Skeletor of the whole series. What a brilliant character.
Yeah.
He was Skeletor. He was basically Skeletor, but yeah, we didn't care. What I liked about this series is that going all the way back to my first pick with Doomwatch, it kind of focused on ecological responsibility. So, because Bravestar was a native American descent, and in the late 80s, early 90s, America suddenly got a conscience and realised that we needed to look after our cultural heritage that we originally stole from somebody else. So
now we do.
But yeah, it dealt with indigenous representation, tension between frontier lawlessness, and high-tech civilizations on the rise. So it took what was happening in America at the time and then put it in the far future and just gave it a little bit of a futuristic spin on it. But yeah, going back to Doomwatch, I think if you take those themes and those concepts, give it a live-action reboot, and
you're going to go live. Nice.
I think live, yeah. I want to see his horse 3030.
Are you sticking with the original costume he had as well?
Yeah, definitely.
Really?
Oh, yeah, I think so, yeah.
Okay.
Again, primary colours, but it looked awesome. Yeah, I want to see 3030 as a full-on mechanised horse. I want to see this steel steed come to life with this sassy attitude.
Is he still going to be Native American?
I think he has to be, yeah. I think why not? Yeah, because now there are a lot of recognised Native American actors who could probably fulfil the role. Yeah, I just want to see a giant metal horse with his giant gun, Sarah Jane.
Guy from Banshee.
Didn't he touch certain parts they would illuminate or something? Or
yes, and I think that's how he activated his power, wasn't it? Yeah, because he was born with these abilities in order to be able to help him marshal New Texas. And I just think it'd be awesome. I think it'd be brilliant.
Yeah, absolutely.
Who could play Marshall Bravestar? Because I didn't really think this through when I was putting his list together. Who would play these bloody characters?
But you could have the guy who was in
the big guy from Banshee.
Oh,
Is he
your
Native American?
man.
Oh, yes, yes,
you're
the
right.
big guy.
Big guy.
If no one knows who he is, though, so it'd be like,
you just look at him and you're like, I'm fucking with it.
yeah, too right, yeah.
But that's it. And because Bravestar was a big guy.
He was a big guy.
He was. Yeah, that's a good call.
Yeah, good shout.
Banderas.
I mean, obviously, if you'd done it in '87, you would have picked Billy from Predator, obviously.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. Even though he was crazy. But yeah, purely because I think I want to see 30-30 done as like a RoboCop type character.
Cool,
Oh,
yeah.
that'd be brilliant, yeah. But also when he activates his powers as well, it would just look awesome. Absolutely awesome. Yeah. So yeah, Bravestar.
Live action, though.
There should be a whole department that just makes legacy
Cartoons.
Honestly, like you got the Marvel Studios.
Well, Amazon's doing the Master of the Universe, and
They
Well,
just
they are,
God of
yeah.
War.
but they didn't got. But could you imagine if like this He-Man movie kicks off, we're still gonna start getting Thundercats, Bravestar.
Oh yeah, totally.
Visionaries. It's all the same company, isn't it?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, so or Mattel, Hasbro, whatnot. But still, we can see a Toyverse,
Oh,
right?
I think
Barbie's paved the way as well.
Yeah, and
Like,
Gem,
Gem, my God, yeah, you're right.
they'll be part of the universe.
Yeah, that was all Mattel, wasn't it?
You heard
Mattel
it here
and
first on
Marvel.
M.T.V.B. 80s cartoon verse.
It's gonna happen.
It's into movies.
It's gonna happen.
Anything else on Bravestar? Nice. Then let's go to the numero unos.
Number one. Ooh, the big boy.
It's number one.
So my number one was the first thing that went on this list because it was my pick. It's been my pick for donkey's years. Anyone that says to me, Anthony, what would you reboot? It would be this show. And then the other four I had to take forever picking. But my number one is Jerry Anderson's Captain Scarlet.
Oh yes.
The reason I picked this is that I am a huge fan of the remake of Battlestar Galactica, one of my favorite TV shows of all time. Captain Scarlet needs to be redone live action with the same tone as Battlestar Galactica remake. It would be fucking phenomenal how we have Captain Scarlet. I just think Captain Scarlet's one of those shows that very much like Chris said at the start of the episode, it was a show that started to get going. And then when you got really into it and really wanted to see what the Mysterons were capable of or what they could do, it got cancelled or it stopped. As per usual, typical Jerry Anderson, 2 seasons, one and done. But you've got Skybase, you've got the different colours for the ranks of people, like obviously white was the heads, green was for technological.
Commander White.
Commander White, that's it.
Lieutenant Green.
That's it.
Captain Black, Captain Scarlet.
Captain Blue.
Captain Blue.
Yeah.
Corporal Brown, I think it was.
And then you've got the Angels as well.
The Angels who were in the fighter jets.
Exactly. You've got all the different types of vehicles, and you've obviously just mentioned him, the one and only scary as fuck Captain Black.
Yeah.
Good God, that man terrifies me. And he's just a puppet in the show, but the way they zoom in on me, like dun 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 bum bum bum. Good God, the whole thing with Captain Scarlet being indestructible and everything is like, if you think about it, it's terrifying. But if it's used in a good way, it's good.
Yeah.
But if it was taken in that place of evil or using that ability, what could happen and stuff like that. And this is some of the things that this show can go into now and just be like. It could be the next best. It could be like, you know, if it has a budget, it could be like Game of Thrones potential big, you know, it would be huge. And like I said, the Battlestar Galactica would just be a stepping stone of how this show can be done. Just keep the costumes to a minimum of like, sort of like the old one, but give it a nice little revamp. Yeah. Same thing with the vehicle. So you can still know that vehicle used to be the Angels. That one used to be Captain Blue's truck thing he had as well. Just good God, there is so much you can do with it. So much potential for a live action Captain Scarlet. Who would I get to play Captain Scarlet?
Cole Urban.
He'd be good Captain Black.
He would be a good Captain Black. Yeah, you're right.
Jonathan Bailey, maybe. I might pick him as Captain Scarlet. But good God, I could go on forever and ever about Captain Scarlet. I know John will probably be listening to this episode. He'd be like, yes, you're right.
Well, I mean, it was my number one for children's TV shows, I think.
Yes, it was. Yes, you're quite right. Yeah, again, I just want it to have a beginning, a middle, and an end. And if you have strong writers such as Richard Moore, who did Battlestar, or other writers that did stuff for like Chernobyl TV series and all that sort of stuff, just anything with some good writing, some good storytelling, and you put Captain Scarlet into that blend, shake it up, and come out with these massive, brilliant TV show budgets. Do it. Make it happen. Captain Scarlet has always been my number one for a very long time. So I had to pick that.
Good pick.
Chris,
Nice.
over to you, sir.
So
Was it cancelled? Was it on Sky Atlantic?
No, it wasn't. This was one of the originals.
Okay.
The OGs of, like you said earlier, about rushing home to make sure you got back in time.
Okay.
So this, I'm going for a full Netflix sort of big budget.
Okay.
Let's throw it all the kitchen sink at it. And we're going back to 96, and this is The Demon Headmaster.
Oh my God!
Wow,
Yeah,
okay.
So I feel like this was a premises about
This was based on books, right?
based on a book, and then it was made into an adaptation for a kids program on CITV, and it was basically about this kid who dropped into a family, foster family, gets put into a new school. There's something dodgy about the school, like they're all a bit weird and they're all a bit robotic, and it turns out to be that the demon headmaster hypnotizes everybody, and basically his premise is he wants to take over the world and hypnotize everybody. But she joins a group, I think it's called the Splat Team, like that's their own sort of team. But the reason I think this would work now is because kid ensembles, they work. Obviously, Stranger Things, and the Goonies.
Give it the vibe of that, yeah.
But I would give it the sort of feel of Wednesday,
Okay.
where it would be a lot darker.
So
But
the dark gothic type thing, yeah.
maybe, I don't know whether it'd be a boarding school or something, but make it that the premise would be, it would be a lot scarier.
Yeah.
But the premise would be still from like the kids' TV show. I just think it could be taken up like times 10.
Yeah.
You know, if you think about like how they could make it and how scary the actual demon headmaster could be.
Yeah.
Or
the one with the glowing eyes.
Yeah, the glowing eyes and the hypnotizing. It basically just takes over the school. And
would you actually have a creature design for him at all, or would he be just literally just the guy with the glowing eyes, like the Hood from Thunderbirds or something?
No, I think I thought this one, just thinking about it, I'd maybe cast the guy from Preacher. You know, the guy who's hunting.
I know the bald guy, right?
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
So like someone who's got a real. He was in The Crown. I don't know if you watched The Crown. No, but like it's just one of these. I think you get that real dark tone. You have you could follow the kids now, and you could, if you make them like a little bit older, Goonie style, and you'd be invested in them. I just think there's just so much fun you could have in this. You wouldn't need to take it. Could be a 3 seasons and sort of done. You know. You know, keep.
There was only a couple originally, wasn't there?
Yeah, there's only a couple of ones. I just thought it would make such. This is what I was thinking about, like all of these legacy. Because I had this one, and then I was maybe thinking, oh, do I go? Are You Afraid of the Dark? You know, like something a bit horror-y, like that we had back in the day. It just ramp it up.
So are we keeping it as a kids show, or are we doing it like you said, like Wednesday, adults and kids can watch it?
I think we'd up it to maybe like where kids would watch, teenagers.
Right, so 12 rated type stuff.
It wouldn't be, because you could go back and watch the kids one if you know what
Sure,
I mean, if you wanted to watch. But I think the premise would be, let's hook the people who used to watch it.
Yeah, so you get the adults into it as well. Like, I used to watch this or read the book as a kid or whatever.
And then like, that kind of looks like Wednesday. It kind of looks... I was just thinking about it. I just thought, I would love to see something dark and gritty.
Yeah,
dark.
Nice.
And, I think it would work really well. And like, I just think there's all of that stuff that we had as kids, just sitting there. IP's not doing anything.
Yeah, making great shows out of it.
Great shows. Yeah, or even it definitely a series, and I think it would work brilliant for Netflix. They're sort of. They love to take something and just up it. Yeah, I think it would work, and that's what I'd like to see.
Because it was a BBC show originally, right?
I think it
BBC?
might have been CITV.
It was BBC.
Was it BBC?
Yeah, and it was 2 series.
Oh, there we go. So it was 2, yeah.
Yeah, so
like I said, I've never watched it. I know of the books as well.
I used to love it when I was a kid, yeah. And I remember we read it at school after the TV show came out.
It was actually quite scary for kids. You know, it was actually like,
Yeah, because the guy that played, because he was quite famous.
Terrence Howard.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, he really played it well. And as a kid, you were like,
it's all in the eyes, wasn't it? Like,
it was, yeah. And because they did a lot of close-ups on him as well, and he was sort of
we're saying about it, like the guy from Resident Evil, Fringe, and The Wire, he'd make a brilliant demon.
Oh, Lance Reddick.
Yeah, the way, like his eyes and the way he stares, I think he'd make a.
And he's got that dark voice as well, deep dark voice. Hasn't he?
So you could make it either like as a boarding school, like a dean, or like one of those gothic sort of like, or it could be new, and he comes into an upstate.
And hypnotizes them all to not be woke.
Yeah, but then that's the thing. Like, what he could do for them to be, because in the other one they were just kind of slaves doing their work.
Yes.
Whereas he can make him do stuff that could be. So it could be like so much stuff that they could go down the dark path. They can make it like an army. They can make it.
Yeah, there's so much potential for everyone that we're bringing up here. Like, we brought up so many ideas, and of course with times changing between now and these shows came out and stuff as well. So you could put all those into it from what's happened since. But then there's the nostalgia, like you said, that old and young audiences can watch it as well at the same time.
Yeah, I think you could either make it current, or you could just do it back in the 90s and have it as that sort of era just going on. But I think he could reach it'd be easier for him to hypnotize because of how much you could say it, like how easy you are to your phone.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, yeah.
The Riddler style.
Yeah, because I remember when Doctor Who done the return for
John
Cybermen.
Was it Sim?
And they had the wireless earbuds, which weren't a thing when the episode came out, but everyone has them now.
Everyone, yeah, absolutely. And what's interesting is that same series, I think it was the very same series. Episode 3 was an episode called School Reunions. It was David Tennant's first series, and they had the return of Sarah Jane Smith.
Yes, with the dog.
And K9 came back, but it was set in a school. And there was something going on. And I think the creature was called the Krillitane, but it had Anthony Head as the headmaster. And when I watched that episode, I thought, this reminds me of the Demon Headmaster as a concept. So, yeah, I mean, it's fully achievable, I think, in this day and age. And like you say, the rise of the internet, people glued to their phones, and also, which is quite a prevalent concept for what we deal with at work, but young sort of teenagers, adults who are encouraged online to join organisations as well. Susceptible, yeah. So I think you again, when I talked about like things like Doomwatch, you could really make it a current societal anxiety by tapping into that sort of thing as well. People will watch it, I think. That's definitely.
Nice pick, mate. Let's go to the numerinos for 3D, sir.
3D, number 1, Columbo.
Yeah. Would Mr. Spielberg do the first episode?
Why the hell not?
Why the hell not?
Why the hell not? Yeah, let's stick to the old tropes. I've only got one thing.
Who would play him?
Mark Ruffalo.
Oh, good shout!
Ooh. And that's all I'm going to say.
Moving on.
Make it happen.
It's no secret that there are some shows and films that I have talked about forever on this podcast. Columbo is one of them. Peter Falk is one of my acting hero legends. I think he is iconic and untouchable as Columbo. I just want to see more. And it's a cop show set in LA. You could update it. It doesn't matter what period it's set in, because Columbo went from the 60s to the 70s to the 80s into the 90s in the 2000s before it eventually finished. It touched on all themes, all parts of life in that part of America. So it doesn't matter what time period you set it in. I think it's still quite a rough area where you could deal with. So I watched SWAT, and SWAT kind of deals with like the rougher parts of that part of America. And I think with Columbo, it would fit right in. But yeah, to play Mark Ruffalo, because his his style and his characterization of especially of Bruce Banner in as the Incredible Hulk in the Marvel films, I think he would be absolutely on point. He could nail it.
Yeah.
And he doesn't have to be Peter Falk, but I think just the way that he would act it would be, I hasten to use the word adjacent again, but he would be adjacent to Peter Falk, but it would sit comfortably alongside it as a different but same version.
Does he still have to have the same look, like the trench coat and everything?
I think so, and I think because I think about the character he played in, oh god damn it, what is that film with Robert Downey Jr.
Zodiac.
Oh. Yeah, I think about his portrayal of that character in that, and I just think, I think he could nail it, most definitely. The look, the mannerisms, you could keep all of the old things like the cigar and the just one more thing and fumbling about in his pockets. All of that would remain. I think you have to, because that's Columbo's character down to a T. That's why you watch him. But just drop him into the modern era and just see more. I don't care who picks it up. Couldn't give a crap. Universal, Paramount, whoever wants it, pick it up.
Someone
do it. Yeah.
Do you reckon it will work in today's audiences?
I think it would.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Old and new?
Old and new. I think those that enjoyed it will come back to it. And I think it's a concept that has legs because Columbo was such an iconic character. And we now have characters and TV shows that are kind of following in the footsteps of that mould.
Do you think, though, because he was so iconic, and with it being your favourite, is there a chance that, you know, like the guy who done, is it MacGyver?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. It's kind of like he's not the guy. He's not MacGyver. And he doesn't work as well as
because it's somebody else.
Well, I
suppose it's like I just mentioned him, Downey Jr. as Iron Man. We now think of him as Tony Stark.
Yeah.
Could anybody else now play that character?
Could anybody live up to Columbo?
I don't know. I'm willing to give it a go. Just to see a little bit more. Just one more thing, please.
That's good.
Nice. So what's the 2D then?
2D, we talked earlier about this and shows similar to this. It's Dungeons and Dragons from 1983.
Nice.
The cartoon.
The cartoon. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
The Dungeons and Dragons ride. Now, we've seen multiple versions of Dungeons and Dragons on the big screen.
Which they actually pop up in.
So with Honor Amongst Thieves, which I did actually enjoy.
I did. It's really good.
Yeah, good film. We saw when they're trapped in that maze and in the final third act and they're trying to get out and there's a couple of other teams.
Yeah.
And one of them is the cartoon Dungeons and Dragons team. Now, you're rooting for your new characters. You're rooting for Chris Pine and
Michelle Rodriguez.
Michelle Rodriguez. Yeah, of course you are. But then these characters pop up and you think, oh, but I want them to survive as well. Because all of a sudden it takes you back to 1983 when I was a 4 or 5 year old kid. And I just think, well, this was my show. These are my characters. And I want to see a little bit more. And it was off the back of that scene in that film. And I think they perish, don't they? They die, unfortunately, for the sake of the film. But yeah, I suddenly thought, because they got the costumes on point. These were
literally, the same ones.
They were the characters. And I was saying to my partner, Helen, I went, oh my God, I said, look, it's Bobby. I said, Presto and Diana and all the other characters. And I just thought, now I need more. That's live action D&D from 1983.
They should make that show and then run into them, the movie characters.
Yeah, they could overlap.
There you go. There's Chris Pine and whatnot
because
in the background.
Dungeons and Dragons, Wizards of the Coast, who currently own the IP, they have absolutely all right to say, well, we could just do that overlap and integrate that in, and it becomes lore and it becomes part of the whole thing. And
with Paramount owning it now, they'd be stupid not to make a TV series of it.
Oh my God, just do it, because the popularity, you said it earlier, and the popularity of D&D and RPGs of its ilk and all of that genre and that fandom, I think, you would be stupid.
The Stranger Things, they should hit it now.
Absolutely,
Yeah, well, they've brought out their own D&D brand with Stranger Things written all over it.
Oh,
and even Horrified has. They've done the Horrified Dungeons and Dragons last year.
The very end of, so again, I think it was 3 seasons, wasn't it? So it was too long.
Never had an ending, did it?
The third season was cut short and it never had an ending. And I think they cut it short right before the last episode.
Yes.
Where it was going to either go, they were going to reset. So Venger was going to be...
Dungeon Master's brother.
No, his
He's
son.
such a good
Son,
actor.
sorry.
Son, yeah. So he would have been reformed, redeemed, and then it would have sort of paved the way for a new storyline, a new villain, potentially some new characters, because the characters would either have the opportunity to go home, get back on the ride and go home, or they could stay and fight in the Dungeons and Dragons realm. And a good few years ago, I think it was about 6 or 7 years ago on YouTube, somebody, because the voice recordings were already done.
Yes.
The soundtrack was there. So they took it and somebody animated it using bits from the old series and some new bits. And they gave us this last story. And do you know, and I'm going to sound...
I cried.
I cried.
Same, man. I did.
Cried because these characters from when we were kids finally get the ending that they needed. Yeah, and it was genuinely sad.
it
I was
really
like,
was.
oh my God, that's it. Just watching that as a kid, I don't think we probably would have got it, but as an adult, you suddenly realise. But then, it got
I
me
felt
thinking.
at peace, like they actually got their ending, yeah.
That they got their ending. I think it was only Presto that remained, wasn't it? The others went home.
Is he the magician?
A couple stayed.
Oh, did- or maybe Bobby
the
stayed.
Barbarian stayed as well.
Bobby stayed with Uni.
with
yeah.
Presto, yeah.
Yeah, and again, off the back of that, I thought TV series.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Would you have the same characters?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Would you
I
do
think
it in
so.
like a
yeah.
Stargate sort of like where each episode's a new sort of quest?
Oh, a new realm, maybe, or something
or
like
like
that.
a new quest or a new sort of, or would there be an overline, let's just get back and we've got
But this
to
is the
get
thing,
from
you
here
could
to
have,
there.
because D&D's got so many iconic locations and stuff that they
Yeah.
could throw those in every
So
couple
many
of episodes or
worlds,
something. So
so
many
many-
worlds.
so many
Because
so many enemies,
Do they
yeah.
transport? 'Cause I can't remember. Do they get because they transport, but they don't then transport inside
No,
realms, do they? They're always walking.
Always
They're always
walking.
walking.
They're always
yeah.
walking. So once you're there
so they arrived via the ride,
on the
the
ride,
roller coaster, and then that was it, because it kind of broke up, and then they arrived in this realm, and then they were just stuck there.
safety checks.
But the dungeon master, the dungeon master, yeah, assigned them their characterization. So you had the barbarian, the
Little
knight.
Danny DeVito.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Hey, asshole!
The fucking dungeon master. I think it's a trick somebody is going to miss if they don't do it.
Yeah, that is such a great pick. And like, yeah, it 100% would work today.
Toy Verse.
I would be so like,
Well, Hasbro- I mean,
there,
Hasbro
day one,
recently-
I would be waiting for that episode to come out.
Hasbro did a line of toys within the last 3-4 years. I think, yeah, I got Venger and Dungeon Master, but they did.
so cool.
It's awesome, and Tiamat. I want to see Tiamat the dragon.
Yes.
There wasn't enough Venger. There wasn't enough Venger, if you know what. He
Yeah.
never really did it. He just come in and went. "Ugh."
Yeah,
Do his bit and that's it.
yeah, and he'd always get like some other sort of villain or trope of the week to try and deal with the kids. But I mean, if you go a little bit further into D&D lore, like the original D&D from 76, 77, you've got characters like the War Duke or the Beholder. I want to see stuff like that in it as well, because, like you say, Anne, there's
As
so
the series
many.
goes on, you can, yeah.
It could go on
carry
forever. Shouldn't, but you can do. But yeah, with a budget and the thirst is there for it. I think Stranger Things brought it back. It never went away,
No, it never went. It just
but
went to a
nerdy
new
stuff
audience.
become cool.
Yeah,
And made
yeah,
it cool.
absolutely, yeah.
yeah, it made it acceptable.
Made
Geeks
it-
were acceptable.
Yeah, I think there'd be an overall more people to watch it now. It wouldn't be so niche.
Would you still give it its campiness, or would you like make it serious
I
at all?
think you need to
I think you
allow
Stay away from it, I think.
Yeah, stay away from the campiness. You can have light Stranger Things. You can have light, entertaining parts, but then because of the nature of what it is, it has to go to those dark places
Yeah.
in order to make it work.
It's so big. Oh my
It
god! I'm
wouldn't
just
it?
thinking of it now. Oh my god, it'd be so good.
But yeah,
As long as Jonathan's in it.
yeah, okay.
Jonathan, Jonathan.
all because of Honor Among Thieves.
Yeah.
I saw
like
those
it.
pictures.
It's a great movie.
Yeah.
So much fun.
Yeah.
That's my number one.
Nice, good picks there. Does anyone have any honourable mentions at all?
Oh, I know Chris.
I've
has
got a few. We said I had gargoyles.
Yeah, do you know what? I was so close to putting that on the list.
I don't know if you ever remembered Taken, the Spielberg thing. About
Yes,
the
Oh,
yes, yeah.
So I had that. Friday Night Lights.
Oh,
Yes.
God. That was football.
American football,
American
yeah.
football. The one that I had from Netflix was Resident Evil, but National Treasure. I'd make it just better and cool. just shitty.
Okay.
And there was an old series called Surface. I don't know. Remember if you remember Sea Monsters? I think that. Oh, Erie, Indiana as well.
Yeah, again, that's another one that was close to being on my list, but we mentioned it not long ago, so I didn't bring it onto the list.
No, but there's like just so much of those kids stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, normally I would always got one more.
No, 11/22/63.
Yeah, the Stephen King.
The Stephen King. I want to go back to JFK.
JFK.
Do you think it needs rebooted?
I just didn't think he did it because I thought the series was a bit weak.
Yeah.
Sally had read the book and she said,
the book is better.
The book, so
to make it like the book, Dan.
Make it like the book.
Make it like the book, yeah.
I think because I said it was all, but she's just like not the book.
The idea behind that is
brilliant.
So
I think, and they only
amazing.
did it. They only did 6 episodes.
Yeah,
and I was like, okay, maybe give me 2 seasons. Don't try and hammer it in so quick.
Done.
But no, I think it just needed to be tweaked.
Usually I produce a list as long as you're on for honourable mentions. I've only got one, and it was going to make the list before I made a few tweaks, and it is The Adventures of Briscoe County Jr. with Bruce Campbell as the cowboy.
Oh, yes. Okay, yeah.
So he's at the turn of the century where the coming thing is happening, and you've got science fiction elements. It's a bit steampunky. I loved the series. It was awesome. It didn't go to a second series because the X-Files took off and it was being produced concurrently with the X-Files. Now, all the money had been pumped into Briscoe County Jr. and not the X-Files, but the X-Files was the winner. And because of the cheap production values, it got sidelined.
Would you bring Bruce Campbell back for the reboot?
Yeah, fuck yeah. Yeah, but not as Briscoe County.
More things anyway.
Yeah, we just need him in more stuff.
You need him in everything. No, bring him back in some capacity. But yeah, you'd have a new Briscoe County, a new Lord Bowler. It had so many legs. At the time, it was one of that and Firefly, which I think a lot of people always talk about.
That's close to being on the list, yeah.
Absolutely. It was criminal that it did not go further.
Yeah.
But that's my only honourable mention.
That's a whole different podcast.
I'm going to go. I've only got one, but it was kind of rebooted anyway. But we're going to go down the Stephen King route. Is The Stand.
Right.
Oh.
So there was one years ago in the 90s that I believe was like a 3-hour long episode.
It was a 2-part.
But it was done in like.
It was an ITV masterpiece. Always on a.
Was it ITV or was it Sky? I think it was Sky One originally had it.
I think it was like, when you had it and you used to, it was always
you had to wait till we'd been from Sky One.
Next night would be the next part.
Yeah. And then they actually did reboot it with Alex Skarsgård in it, which I didn't think was a bad show, but I've not read the book, so I don't know if it went off track with...
Yes, it did.
Did it? Yeah. So that's probably why I didn't do it. So maybe just, come on.
The original 2-part, I think, stuck closer to the original material.
Yeah. I mean, when you've got... Like, for me, last year, 2025, was a peak year for Stephen King with Welcome to Derry.
Yeah.
It's such a fantastic show. And they're obviously connected to the Stephen King verse now, isn't it?
Oh, in a big way.
So hopefully they can steer The Stand into there and get that redone as well. So fingers crossed.
I still need to watch that.
Well, Welcome to Derry. So fucking good. I can't wait for season 2.
I've read a lot about it. I haven't seen it.
So good. Yeah, that's it then, guys. Some good lists there. I don't think we clashed at all, did we?
No,
no clash whatsoever.
Different.
Which is not too bad, eh? So pretty good going.
I liked it.
So shall we end it there then?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Let's end it there then, guys. Oh, wrong button there. There we go. So, yes, guys, thank you for sticking around and watching the whole thing through. I just want to say a big thank you to Mr. Captain 2 List, Mr. Heisenbyrne, and myself, Antman. And what we're going to do is just ask you guys, if you like what you listen to, follow us on Facebook at the M.T.V.B Podcast, or on TikTok at M.T.V.B Podcast 197, or on Instagram at M.T.V.B Podcast. And thank you very much.
Thank you, and we will see you on the next one.
Thank you.
Like, share, comment, and subscribe. Goodbye.
Yeah. Subscribe here. Somewhere.